Good morning, everybody. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning here, and I had a thought coming up the road. By the way, I'm Wild Bill, and I'm bringing you maybe a molecule of salt, may turn out to be a grain, could be a whole shaker full. But I hope everybody's having a good morning. But I was having some thoughts when I was coming up the road, and I've been talking here lately about basically how you can know you're saved. What are some of the telltale signs, so to speak. And I was thinking about over there, in Luke, when Yeshua was talking to tens of thousands of people. And at the center of these people were probably, most likely, because we read about it in the previous chapter, the Pharisees. These were probably some of the most devout religious people of the day. And so think about that now when I'm talking to you about this, that he's talking to tens of thousands, upward probably close to 100,000 or more people. And I was thinking, what would most preachers want to talk about if they had the opportunity to talk to that many people? Dare I say it would be things that would, it'd be things that would cause admiration of the people for the preacher, right? But what does Jesus do? He talks to them about hell. And you can read that chapter, you can read it for yourself, but he's talking to these people and he says, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy, right? Which is lies, false teaching, things that are not true, things that they say but they don't even do themselves, right? And he says, basically he goes on to say, he says, everything's going to be revealed. All of that. Everything that they say in secret, everything that you do in secret, everything that you, even another place says, even your thoughts, right, are going to be revealed. And he's talking to these guys. He's calling them out, what a man. What a bold fella our Savior is. And I don't say that tongue-in-cheek. He was a man. I know he was God, but he was man as well. And he says, I say to you, friends, now he's talking to the people that are being led by these false teachers. And evidently these false teachers had been putting some fear into them about, look, if you don't do all our traditions, everything we tell you to, you're subject to be doomed. Well, Jesus says, I'm going to tell you something. Do not be afraid of those who can kill the body, right? And after that, they have nothing else that they can do. He says, but rather, fear the one who's after he has killed the body, has authority to cast into hell. Yes, I tell you to fear him. And he goes on for that whole chapter, talking about hell. Something to really, really ponder on, but he's talking to all these people. Then I was thinking about you going over to chapter 13 in the first few verses, at the end of chapter 12, he's giving some parables, but in 13 he gives some parables too, but there's one that really struck me. It's the one where the fella had planted, a vineyard owner had planted a fig tree out in the vineyard, right? And he come to that fig tree for about 3 years, and he said, there is no fruit ever on this tree. And he tells the keeper of the vineyard, he says, cut that thing down, it's useless to me. There's been no fruit on it for 3 years. And the keeper of the vineyard said, please don't. Let's don't do that. Let's don't do that right now. Let's I tell you what, let me dig around it. Let me work with that tree. And let me put some fertilizer around it. And then next year, if there's fruit on it, then great. If there's not, then we'll cut it down. So what does that mean? Well, I tell you what it means to me. It means we're living on borrowed time, right? Borrowed time. And time is a most precious grace that our Father has given us. Time. And what are you waiting on? If you belong to Him and you know it, He's been calling on you. He's been calling you out of that sheepfold of those false teachers for years. And it's time for you to answer that call, to come out and follow Him into green pastures where He can teach you. Be a disciple of Him. And as you are, you know, He can teach you about life eternal. You don't want to end up being cut down and thrown into the fire. Just some thoughts. Take all that with a grain of salt. I could be wrong, but these are words that are in the scriptures that Jesus Himself spoke to us. So read them for yourself. See what you think. God bless you.